Thanks for staying with us. Part of the healing process from the scars of the Nigerian Civil War has been the establishment of the National War Museum in Umuahia, the Abia state capital. Established in 1985, the museum preserves the highest collection of the Nigerian Civil War weapons. 35 years after, the museum has become one of the biggest tourist attractions in the entire southeast. Our correspondent, Eyitokwe Kuteyi, visited the facility and now reports.
The National War Museum sits on a landmass of about 3,700 square meters and located in Ebite Amafo community in Umuahia North local government area of Abia State. It houses the famous shortwave radio transmission of the defunct Voice of Biafra.
On the right side and on the left.
The curator, Mercy Aduaka, says the museum has 3 galleries that covers traditional warfare during the pre-colonial and colonial era, the armed forces, and the Nigerian Civil War weapon galleries. This is the bunker that houses the defunct Voice of Biafra shortwave radio transmission. We move down the almost 30-feet bunker. Pictures of protagonists of the war flood the staircase.
So people passed to fell because of their profuse bombing.
It's a hideout where Biafran stays. Because that time this place was a jungle. Nobody knows that something of this nature was located here. It's a hideout. It also has a trench that connects them from here to Ojukwu bunker. Soldiers communicate from here to the Ojukwu bunker.
On display are obsolete military weapons and artifacts, which include the Biafran armored cars, also known as Red Devil, MF-19B small bomber aircraft, anti-aircraft gun launcher, Squid Mortar Mk4 anti-submarine gun, a Nigerian Navy ship used during the war, torpedoes, and the famous Ogbunigwe launcher, amongst others.
We are actually calling on government, even though we are public servants under the government, to really step up their awareness creation, their running costs release, their empowerment packages financially.
For some of us who didn't witness the Civil War, for the fact that we were not born at that time, the stories we read may not be fully appreciated without visiting the National War Museum here in Umuahia. The National War Museum is a major tourist attraction in the state, as visitors of all classes visit between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Look at the devastating effect.
Museum officials are more concerned about giving a facelift to the facility with a high economic value. Chief Emmanuel Iwanyan is a war veteran. The elder statesman tells us that most of the war weapons used by the defunct Biafra during the Civil War were manufactured by the soldiers themselves, including himself.
Biafra was blockaded by land and sea. So Biafra had no choice but to produce these arms here.
He warns an attempt by any group or persons to return to the bloody path he once witnessed.
I think really that the best option and the best choice for Nigerians is for us to live together, for us to determine to live together and to abhor and avoid all these things that will create problem among us.
Certainly, the effect of war on any nation's development cannot be overemphasized. For a country to attain sustainable growth, peace, unity, and stability is key. Eyitokwe Kuteyi, Channels Television News.
We move on to the Horn of Africa, where the top UN official, Onanga Ayanga, is expressing hope for Somalia's progress as it enters a pivotal year on various fronts of development. The UN official spent the past 2 days in the Somali capital of Mogadishu, where he met a range of national and international actors and discussed regional security, elections, development, humanitarian and other issues. Onanga Ayanga's meetings included an encounter with Somalia's Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, Balal Mohammed Usman, with whom he spoke about the importance of dialogue for peace and prosperity in the region.
We can also see that a number of promising reforms are being put in place. There is hope that as daunting as challenges can be, they cannot resist the joined up, and the collective engagement of the international community. It gives me hope that as the country slowly prepares and will be engaging in a quite significant electoral process, everything will be done in such a way that the country can build on its gains so far to strengthen the rule of law, to strengthen governance structures. Elections could be opportunities for countries to really move forward with their national, integration, national reconciliation, peace building process, or they can also pose huge, daunting challenges that, if they are not properly addressed, could lead countries into deeper, instability and sometimes, unfortunately, conflict.
The Spanish Coast Guard has rescued a boat carrying 33 migrants in the Atlantic Ocean, transporting them to Aguenguin, the island of Gran Canaria in Spain. The Red Cross says the migrants are 16 men and 17 women, including 5 minors and 2-month-old baby. Thousands of migrants from Africa and the Middle East embark on the dangerous journey by sea every year, hoping to make it to Europe. Spain's Ministry of Interior reports that as of December 31st, 2019, a total of 26,128 irregular migrants have arrived in Spain by sea. The report said Spain had a 50% decrease of irregular migrant arrivals compared to last year, but arrivals to the Canary Islands have increased. Authorities say the change in destination is mainly due to increased security in the Mediterranean, which has forced people to seek alternative routes. Meanwhile, nearly 1,000 migrants, including more than 200 women and children, have been returned to Libyan shores since the beginning of the year. That's according to the International Organization for Migration. According to IOM spokesperson Safa Mslehi, most have disembarked in Tripoli as armed clashes are reported to continue in the capital, and all have been taken to detention centers.
These returned migrants are among the more than 1,000 who have left Libya by sea since the 1st of January, driven in part by the heaviest clashes Tripoli has seen since hostilities began 9 months ago. Migrants who spoke to staff from the International Organization for Migration at disembarkation points in Libya said that the escalation in hostilities in and around the capital and the deteriorating humanitarian situation are the main reasons behind this increase in departures. IOM has consistently called for the dismantling of the detention system and the orderly release of migrants. Alternative solutions that safeguard lives must be found to alleviate the suffering of thousands of men, women, and children who are held in inhumane conditions.
Well, that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Adigoke. Bye for now.